Hello, welcome to a video where I'm going to show you some battles from Pokemon that I am known to use a lot. It might even be a preview for Worlds. This is a team that I have: Vigoroth, Azumarill, and Giratina Origin. Vigoroth and Giratina Origin, one of my favorite cores. I don't find Vigoroth as effective in Go Battle League as it is in Show 6 because it's more difficult to cover Annihilate reliably. I run Azumarill with Play Off and Hydro Pump. I think that's the way right now. It just feels a little bit more natural. Ice Beam, the pacing of Ice Beam usually is nice though, that it costs one less bubble for that attack. Azumarill is meant to bait out the Lickitung in this team, but it doesn't always work. And there are times that your Giratina will be aligned to a Wigglytuff or a Dark type or a Lickitung. Unfortunately, that is the risk of the team, but it is one of my favorites. I also like to run this team a little bit in reverse because a lot of teams run like ABA to Giratina. It's a pretty uncommon pick. And then I run like Giratina, Vigoroth, and Registeel. Let's take a look at the first battle here. Vigoroth into Registeel. I like this lead. Registeel can actually win the 0 and the 1 shield though, which is not ideal. But I'm hoping they would swap out at some point. The reason why is because Giratina Origin is so good into this matchup because it resists everything this Registeel can throw at it. While the Vigoroth does deal super effective counter damage, but the charge attacks do nothing. Luckily, my opponent doesn't even bait a Zap Cannon there. Most of them do. This is dangerous. I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide. I do want to throw my Azumarill at some point. I can take a Charge Attack on my Vigoroth here. That is no problem. The reason why is because the Focus Blast does way more, so I don't really feel at the risk here taking a Charge Attack. What I do need to be careful of is that I'm stalling the clock like this. So I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide, just making sure that I keep switch advantage. I really don't want my Giratina at this, but you'll see that maybe I should have swapped my Azumarill immediately, even though without Ice Beam, it's not exactly the most positive matchup here. I just don't need my Giratina on this. I should have maybe swapped immediately. Yeah, Sky Tech coming through. They go for another one. I think at this point the clock is up. And luckily though, I do have Hydro Pump for that Registeel. It's coming back in. Hydro Pump leaves you a little bit less vulnerable to Registeel. It's still a bad matchup. One of the main things that you pick up with it though is Bastion, because Bastion is actually a bad match for Azumarill if you don't have Hydro Pump. I'm gonna shoot this up. I don't exactly remember why. I think the reason why is if I swap in my Vigoroth there, they might swap in something else, and then my Giratina is stuck on a half health Noctowl, which will absolutely annihilate it. But it's not gonna become anything better. It is a Feraligatr in the back, so my opponent is double strong to my Giratina in the back. Ice Beam would do about 70%, and Shadow Claw is super effective. I'm gonna go catch this, and then I really only have one chance here, and that is that they swap in Noctowl into my Azumarill. So that is what I'm gonna go for. If they don't do that, it's probably over regardless. And look at that, they actually do it. So now my Giratina still has a chance, because I can get to Hydro here. But if the Feraligatr gets energy, I also lose. So I have to undercharge here, and then try to farm down with my Giratina once he farms it down. Shadow Ball does less than an Ice Beam. I mean, it's still super effective, but I get a nice farm down here. And this might allow me to outpace that Feraligatr to a charge step, because Giratina is just not good into this matchup at all, unfortunately. I can take it. Now I need a few more to get to the Shadow Ball, and I barely get there, and this will win me the battle. So, yeah, that's kind of a rough team there, because usually teams tend to be a little bit weak to Giratina, and this person totally wasn't. Game 2, Vigoroth into Shadow Skarmory. This is an interesting matchup, because I believe you win a 2-shield straight body slam here, even as Vigoroth, just because the counts deal more damage than usual. But Skarmory wins the 1-shield straight Sky Attack. Here you will see that the Steel is add up enough that Sky Attack is going to knock out at some point. I'm going to go for double Rock Slide here. Don't really mind for switch advantage. Usually it's like a Quagsire, but it could also be a Lickitung in the back. Usually like Quagsire and a Dragon. And in that case, both Azumarill and Giratina are just fine in the back. So let's see. They do shield. They did shield the first one, and you see that they barely win the 1 shield. But if I shield there, I just counter down. So Vigoroth does win the 2 shield here pretty comfortably, if it really wants to. Bubbling down, having a slight energy advantage. Let's see what they're coming with. It is a Whiscash, regular Whiscash, which is annoying because if it's like a Shadow Quagsire, you can like pump a Hydro Pump in there and then just farm down because it does so much damage. But here you need to play rough and the bubble damage to knock it out. So that's what I'm gonna do here. There's no point going Hydro Pump in this matchup now. As you can see, Play Rough does pretty mediocre damage. Whiscash also outputs mediocre damage because Mud Bomb is just not that strong of a charge attack. It does come out very fast, but oh well. They are one off another one here, so I'm gonna throw immediately, letting a Mud Shot through. Unfortunately, Whiscash is quite bulky, so it's barely gonna hang on here. And now, again, it comes down to what's in the back. If it's not a water type, I might be fine. If it's a dragon, though, You can see they switch out. It is a dragon, but I'm going to show you a trick here. I'm going to go for this player. I need to get that last shield, so I will shield this. You might think, wait, but you need that for Giratina because Giratina's not good here. Wrong! Giratina's not bad here when shields are down because a Shadow Ball plus Shadow Claws will knock out. As you can see, Dragon Breath is super effective, but Gudra usually tends to run Aqua Tail and Thunder Punch, and in that case, it won't knock out. As you can see, Shadow Ball almost going to knock out. It actually does knock out, but only because I got more bubble damage. You'll see that matchup later again. Game number 3, Vigoroth into Skarmory. Vigoroth can force this, but I personally don't like it too much as the Vigoroth because the Skarmory can really decide shield play here. If you actually call a Sky attack here, you can win the 0 shield. But if they go Brave Bird, it obviously will knock out from this range. So it's kind of tough. I'm going to call the Sky attack. No exact reason why. Sometimes I shield there, sometimes I don't. So yeah, as you can see, it pays off. I'm going to win the 0 shield. They shield anyway, but I would get the 2 Rock Slide now. And then whatever's in the back. I expect, again, a Water type and a Dragon type, probably. Could also be Lickitung. Of course, that's kind of what you're always fearing. See, I'm going to farm this down all the way with Giratina. Do I shield this? Yes, I do shield it up. It's perfect farm down at this point. Let's see. Even if it is like a Gudra, I'm fine with that. I can just Shadow Ball it. It is a Sableye. This is a classic, because you just strip the shield, swap in Azumarill. Azumarill likely can clean up whatever's in the back. My opponent even stays in here. Maybe it's something like a double ghost. Not with Trident, luckily. Let's see. It can be anything. Could also be like a Quagsire. I do shield the return correctly here. My opponent's going to attempt to make a catch unsuccessfully. And now, I think I still go for double player off here. Because I think if he gets 2 Stone Edge, it will get a little bit too close, which I don't like. Yeah, actually, in hindsight, I probably should have gone for the Hydro Pump there. My opponent tries to get Charge Attack Purity, but I'm not falling for that. So I sneak another bubble. They sneak another one because they go for the Aqua Tail now. They want to get a Shadow Claw down. If I throw this player off, I need 2 more bubbles. The Sableye will outpace me. So I'm going to lock up this Quagsire by going into Giratina, then farming it down, going for the Shadow Ball. Even if the Sableye had an attack here, it could win Charge Attack Purity, depending on the AVs. Usually good Sableye don't win Charge Attack Purity against my Giratina. But he had to throw, and then I would have player as well. So I locked up the game with that. Game number 4, Vigoroth into Quagsire. I win the 0 shield scenario. I believe I lose the 2 shields if they go straight Aqua Tail, because they will outpace and the Mudshots will add up. But as long as the Mudshots don't add up, they need a Stone Edge and an Aqua Tail in the 0 shields, which I'm super fine with. I'm expecting Skarmory in the back. Can be any third, really. So I think I just either want to go all the way for Switch here, or I just let everything go. Let's see, they go for the Mud Bomb. This person is living in a different era. They swap his Skeleton Edge. I go into Azumarill immediately. And because most Azumarill run Ice Beam, and player of my opponent doesn't really expect the Hydro Pump, which it still takes like 5 years to get to Hydro Pump. So in the meantime, they get to the Shadow Ball. And if I don't throw immediately, they even get to another Disarming Voice, which I don't want to take. So I'm going to go for Hydro Pump. They will knock out. They still have a Mud Bomb stored on that Quagsire, but I also have a Body Slam. Let's see what they have here. This Mud Bomb movesets are weird. They have Mud Bomb Stone Edge. That's yeah, you can play a Quagsire like that. I guess they don't have an Elitium for Aqua Tail. Let's see what I come in with here. I'm gonna go into the Giratina because this might be an Aqua Tail. I didn't count properly anymore. Gonna let this go. It's a Stone Edge, which does a lot, and in the back is a Shadow Typhlosion. If I shielded that Stone Edge, this game would not have been even close. But Giratina is fine. This is actually one of the very few matches where you want Shadow Claw Typhlosion over Incinerate, because usually even Incinerate does more than Shadow Claw when resisted, but because Shadow Claw now is super effective, it will be better. I just need to get the 2 attacks here. I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball, and then I have a Body Slam stored on the Vigoroth, so I shall win this battle. My opponent knows that. They let the Shadow Ball go, and that is a good game. Cool team, double fire. Here we go. Vigoroth into Cresselia. This is one of the worst leads you can have, really. It could be Lickitung in the back if they totally disregard Skarmory, but most Cresselia teams cover Skarmory hard in the back, so there could be even a Bastiodon. It's usually at least one Water type in the back, and that's why I kind of hate this lead, because Giratina usually isn't that great in the back. You're not going to win this matchup usually. If they go for Grass Knot, I can actually win the 0 shield by going for a Rock Slide as the final attack. Might also depend on their Cresselia IVs. But if there's like a Lance in the back, like, Giratina is just not going to be that great. I'm going to go for a Body Slam here, just because I'm going to let Vigoroth go. I believe they have a little bit higher attack because I'm lower HP than usual. I'm actually going to shield this. That way I can force switch event in case it will be a Lickitung in the back. They swap in Talonflame immediately. Cresselia Talonflame Core, one of my favorites to go with. And let's see. This is a fine match for Azumarill. I don't even need to go for the Hydro Pump here. I can just throw a player off and farm down. See, this is also what I mean. They're already ABA weak to Giratina here, because Cresselia weak to Giratina, Talonflame weak to Giratina. So that's why I often like Giratina more as a lead, but I like it more more in this order if I want to play Azumarill with it as well. Let's see what comes back in. Cresselia goes down to, I believe, 1 or 2 bubbles, so I don't expect that to come in. And in the back is a Poliwrath. This is a pretty cool team. And it's also triple weak to Giratina. Poliwrath does not do well into Giratina, despite having Ice Splash. I'm going to hard swap here. Don't want him to farm me down. His win condition is getting a catch. Now I'm also... I have some HP on my Vigoroth. I might be able to get to a Body Slam as well. I'll let the first Ice Wind go through, because some of these Poliwrath for some reason run Power Punch Ice Wind, which is a crazy moveset if you ask me. I'm going to bait the Ominous Wind here. Which actually was a bad play, because I would just get the 2 Shadow Ball regardless. I have to shoot the next one, though. Let's see. They have to catch. They try to... while I waited, I believe they got another Psych Cut in, because they were definitely 3 or 4 off. Now they get there. I still get a farm down here, though. And now I should be able to get to a Body Slam. But that was a little bit weird. That should not have happened, but it did. I should have Shadow Clawed down, but oh well. We don't get punished, luckily. Game number 6, Vigoroth into Swampert. Now, there's something important that you need to know about this lead. And I know this, I just forgot entirely about this composition. Swampert is basically always paired with Skarmory, right? It's just a very good core. What it also often is in the back is Tentacruel, and I totally forgot that in this battle. You think, oh wait, if it's Tentacruel Skarmory in the back, just put Shields on Giratina, easy clap. But I'm gonna catch the next Hydro on Azumarill, because I was like, wait, if they're weak to Vigoroth in the lead, it might be Lickitung in the back. Don't ever do this when you see a Swampert lead, because it's so commonly paired with a Tentacruel or Toxapex. With Hydro Pump, you can actually get this very low still, so the Tentacruel is not going to be as threatening with its energy unless it has Blizzard. I'm going to go for Hydro and then get to a player off here. Unfortunately, I barely don't get to a Hydro. That may have put it very, very low, to the point I can even Shadow Claw down in 1 or 2. But player off has to do, I guess. Let's see. I'm 1 attack off the Body Slam, so I reckon they have to throw immediately, which they do. This likely is a Scald, which does a junk, but I can take it on Giratina. And then I let that go as well. It's gonna be annoying if it's Skarmory though. And I also need to keep in mind that Swampert is dry, but it will need 5 for another attack. Unfortunately, I get debuff, so I have to get out of that matchup, which actually may foil my play a little bit. Because I kind of don't want Vigoroth in this matchup, right? I want to get the 2 Shadow Ball here and then put it way lower. That would have been more ideal. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have been the play. I'm gonna call that Sky Attack there. I think that was my win condition. Gonna go for another Rock Slide. There's still a good play here. They shield that, otherwise I would have Shadow Clawed them down. But I have some energy already. Giratina's low though. I'm afraid of their catch. And this is actually gonna be crucial. 2 things are gonna be crucial here. I'm waiting a turn, and that means another Steel Wing comes through. That is actually very valuable damage, because I need to live some Mudshot and Poison Jab. The other crucial thing is this. This actually allows me to even have a chance. They try to catch, but if I didn't let that Steel Wing through, I think I could have had it. Oh well. I probably shouldn't have had it anyway, because it was just a boost win condition. The Vigoroth Mirror. This is one of the best leads you can have with this team. And the reason why is because there's rarely another Dark or Normal type in the back. It's possible, but it's rare. I've only seen a Mandibuzz from Jonkers there once. And what most Vigoroth players also do is catch the second Body Slam, because they're playing some ABB team, and they want to preserve that Body Slam for something. But that would give you switch advantage, and with Azumarill and Giratina backline, switch advantage is beautiful. This opponent went for Rock Slide. Maybe that works against bad AV Vigoroth, but mine is just good enough to hang on. Rock Slide does do a little bit more damage, and they go for switch advantage, which is fine with me. They don't even get to a Rock Slide here, so perfect. If they went for Body Slam first, they would have actually. So now I'm up a shield, I don't have switch, and I have some energy on Giratina. Let's see what comes in. There's no way they have something good in the back. It's Clodsire. Well, this is not the Pokemon I expected. I would have loved to have Azumarill on here. However, if you have shields up, it's actually not that great for Azumarill, because if they shield both your Hydro Pump, obviously this Clodsire is only 1 shield, but if they do that in like a lead scenario, Clodsire is actually pretty fine there, because Hydro Pump just takes so long to get there. I will shield the Earthquake here. There's absolutely 0 chance. Whatever's in the back is going to be good against Giratina. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. Anomalous Wind, they would take that, so don't want to go for that. They let that go. In the back is a Mantine. This is so over. This is so over. They even go for an Area Ace. This doesn't even knock out, buddy. Man-Ting can have a breakpoint against Azumarill, so the wing attack does more damage, and then you can win certain shield scenarios. But because I probably get a shield here or massive damage, I'm now up a shield with Shadow Claw damage. 2-player will knock out. My opponent knows it, and that's a good game. Game number 8, we have Vigoroth into Noctowl. This is very fine, because, again, I don't want Giratina on this. So, let's see how this plays out. Hopefully he stays in all the way, but the fact he stays in might also indicate... If someone is staying in a lead, I don't like it, because it might also always be Lickitung in the back. They come with a Surfetch. Definitely not what I was expecting. Probably trying to bait out something like an Annihilate, maybe. But, man, baiting Annihilate out with this doesn't even have Leaf Blade, probably. That is even crazier. I mean, Annihilate probably shield all the Brave Bird anyway. Gonna go for the attack here. I don't want to give the Noctowl a lot of farm, so I'm gonna undercharge this a little bit. Make sure that I am the one who loses this matchup. Because I'm not exactly expecting something good against Azumarill in the back. So I'm just gonna bubble this down now. This is actually perfect. I think 2 or 3 bubbles will knock out, and then he has no energy at all. Let's see. 2 bubbles knock out already. In the back is Chestnut. Okay, well, we have a Spice Lord here. Kind of dangerous. They let me sneak a full bubble. Also dangerous. I wish I had Ice Beam now, but Ice Beam won't even do the job. So, gonna go for the Play Rough right here. Man, I really wish I had Giratina now on this, but oh well. Let's see. I could have played it different if I went for like Body Slam to the Surfetch. But oh well. Gonna go for Body Slam here. This should put it into Play Rough range. In comes Noctowl again. My opponent is unlikely to shoot anything because they need to win with their Chestnut. This Noctowl is just here to take damage, and it does that very well. Let's see, I can do some more counter damage. This might actually be perfect. My only play, there's no other play than coming out with 100 energy here. There's absolutely no other play. I'm gonna try to bubble this down. Noctowl's pretty bulky, so I might be able to do that. I don't really care about the damage here, because the Frenzy Plant does more than anything this Noctowl can throw. If it's gonna only get to 1 charge check, Shadow Ball does more, which my opponent does, very smart, but Noctowl's pretty defense weighted, so it doesn't do as much. And now I need to get 2 attacks here. Going a little over 100 energy isn't optimal, but yeah, I just need to maximize my energy and timing. I need 2 bubbles for another Play Rough, and my opponent isn't at 2 attacks yet, so I will win this game. That was a wild team, definitely not the one I was expecting. I respect it. Vigoroth into Deoxys defense. This is a pretty rare lead, and it's also probably the worst you can face. I'm gonna build up to a Body Slam, sometimes to a Rock Slide, because if I swap into a Azumarill here, I sometimes can stall the switch matchup so long that I might be able to snipe that Pokemon and keep my Azumarill somehow. So the reason why this is about one of the worst leads is because it's very commonly paired with like a Lickitung, and then the other Pokemon is like a Bastiodon, a Wigglytuff, a Dugong, whatever's bad for you. They actually do have Lickitung in the back. I'm very happy I didn't shield anything here, because it's all in the hands of Giratina at this point. I baited out the normal type. If it's a dark type in the back, it's over. If it's a normal type in the back, it's over. Could also be a Sableye, could be an Umbreon, could be anything really. But luckily I didn't use any shields on the Azumarill, so now Giratina has 2 of them, and I can clean up this Lickitung with Vigoroth. I have to throw one of these though. Hopefully it doesn't get to 2 here. That will get very close to knocking out. And I might need Vigoroth to win this game for me at the very end. They go for a power actually. So I want to keep that energy. Let's see what comes in. If it's Deoxys, I will swap out immediately. And then it's risky. They're locked in for a little bit. So they're probably going to throw a Psycho Boost, right? The Shadow Claws add up real nicely here, bringing it closer to Body Slam range. Do I shield here? Really comes down to what I expect in the back. I'm going to no shield in case like a Poliwrath. It's Alolan Sandslash. Again, a tremendous no-shoot by me. And here's why. Shadow Claws do nothing, so that allows my Vigoroth to farm more energy later. Go for the Ominous Wind there, and look at this. My Giratina is barely able to get to Shadow Ball. My opponent cannot really shield this, because if they do that, I will double shield and double Body Slam. So they let it go. Very smart. But 2 more Shadow Claws, put this Deoxys so low, I might be able to get to 2 Body Slam here. Let's see. I need to take this counter, and I think if I do, I'm at 1 HP, but I think I also faint here. I do not faint, and I get to a Body Slam here. Fully hard countered, and we still win a game. I faced only one other team with this, and it was Lickitung and Wiggly in the back, and that's just unwinnable. Sometimes there's those teams. So yeah, that was one of my favorite teams to use so far. The other one I really like is Giratina, Vigoroth, and Registeel. And it might be Pokemon I would bring to World Championships as well. I'm also a big fan of Goodra, so I'm not entirely done with cooking yet. Also, Whimsicott is on my radar. We'll see. Hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.